I have chosen the painting A Night of Alcantara, or Calatrava, by Bartolome Esteban Murillo, which is on display at the Met. Murillo began his painting career at about the age of 12, when he entered the studio of Juan del Castillo as an apprentice. He is well known for his biblical paintings, but also painted in a variety of genres. His style was similar to Rubens and Van Dyck in the choice of rich colors, thick brushstrokes, and white highlights. Later on in his career, he had limited his colors to only a few. In the Spanish style, Murillo places his portraits of knights in an austere setting with only a table or a desk, and uses dramatic light and shadow. The painting is supposed to be of Pedro Nunes de Villavicencio, who is a painter trained under Murillo. However, he would have only been 6 when the painting was executed and did not belong to the order of Alcantara, so it is believed to be of another member of the family. Alcantara is a town located in the provinces of Cáceres, Extremadura, and Spain, which is located on the Tagus River and extends to Portugal. The Order of Alcantara is a religious and military order that began in 1116 and continued until it was suppressed in 1835. This painting by Murillo is a boy with a basket of fruit. It is a personification of summer. The body underneath the clothes is a glowing pale color, while the exposed skin is a darker shade. This can be seen in the tan line at the wrist. Murillo has given the boy great definition in the collarbones, shoulders, chest, and arms. The shadowing of the chest and arms further supports this muscular idea. This body seems fitting for a Night of Alcantara. Back to the Night of Alcantara. I've decided to use a color and black and white version because some of the detail is lost in the color version due to shadowing. I have included a picture of the portrait at the Met so you're able to see the large scale of the portrait. Beginning with the shirt, a hint of it can be seen at the wrist with the detail of a velvet or satin bow. The collar, which is sticking straight out, could have been made of a lace, but is difficult to see, so I've included a self-portrait of Diego Velázquez for better viewing. The doublet is made of a black velvet, and beginning with the shoulder, it can be seen the 3 tiers of either velvet burnout or embroidery. The doublet is divided into 4 sections with 2 basques at the bottom, and is belted at the waist with a black bow. Below the belt, down the center, in the perimeter of the doublet, it is decorated with velvet burnout having a satin background. Further detail can be seen on the lower right side with a leaf-like symbol. In the 13th century, sumptuary laws restricted the use of gold and silver thread in weaving and embroidery. Cloth became increasingly expensive and elaborate. Alfonso X, the wise king of Castile and Leon, says, "Monarchs must dress in silk with gold, silver, and precious stones in order to distinguish his rank from the clothing of commoners." This idea is well represented in the sleeves of the doublet, even though it is 400 years later. The upper part of the sleeve is trimmed in either a lace or a silver thread. The same trimming can be seen at the bottom of the doublet. Cloth of silver is made by taking silver and twisting it around a silk cord. Only a few inches could be completed each day, so the sleeves are extremely expensive and labor-intensive. The sleeve is detailed with strips of blue ribbon-like embroidery that intersect to create a wavy triangle. In the center of the triangles are either silver jewels or studs. The pattern is reminiscent of an earlier style where interlacing lines, horizontal, vertical, and diagonal axes were created to form square grids, stars, and rosettes. These were highly stylized and geometric. On the inner portion of the arm, the seam of the sleeve is shown. I am showing this detail of the sleeve of a portrait of Don Andrés de André y Lacal by Murillo to show the difference between the ostentatious sleeve of the knight and a more humble sleeve of the time. The wearer has removed his sleeve to allow us to see the lower portion of his sleeve that is trimmed with lace. The detachable cuff that protects the lace is made of the same fabric as the sleeve, but is trimmed with a fringe. The breeches are made of black velvet. This texture can be seen by the creases from the fabric on the lower inside part of the left leg. The outer edges of the breeches are detailed with bows. The hose are made of silk knit and help to define the calves of the knight. They are held up by the bows of the breeches. Spain was the leading producer of silk, and gifts were given to King Henry VII in 1539. On the outside of the doublet, the artist has placed a cape over the shoulders of the knight. Similar to the doublet, the cape is made of a velvet burnout with a vine-shaped detail. The accessories of the knight include a medallion showing the cross of the Order of Alcantara. The knight's sword is decorated with an elaborate handle. To finish off his ensemble, the knight has a wide-brimmed hat, brown gloves, and heeled shoes. A surviving example, similar to that in the portrait, is of an English doublet and breeches from the 1930s to 1940s. While this is a more elaborate version with bows around the waist, the structure of the shoulders, sleeves, and basques are similar. Another surviving example, similar to the sleeves of the doublet, is a 17th century woman's jacket from the V&A. It was worn by Margaret Leighton. The jacket is made of linen and embroidered silver thread and has trimmings of bobbin lace. Similar to the knight's doublet in structure and decoration of the sleeves, it has an inside seam, trimmings at the top of the shoulder and bottom of the doublet, and has the embroidered pattern of the sleeves. Some portraits of Merlot's contemporaries include this one, of Philip IV by Diego Velázquez. It shows the impeccable silver embroidery of his ensemble. In the portrait of Don André d'André y Lacaille, Merlot shows a similar yet played-down version of the Knight of Alcantara. Traveling over to the French court in the portrait of Jean-Baptiste Colbert, Philippe de Champagne shows the luscious velvet fabric in Colbert's cape. At this time, Spain's fashion was dragging along. They spread their style to their colonies. However, France was prospering by the court of Louis XIV. Merlot wanted to depict the knight as a fashionable person. To do this, he took the fashion from the golden years of a few centuries past. Concluding with this portrait, I raise the question, would a knight be able to afford sleeves of cloth of silver and voided velvet? Are they in fact real or a creation of the painter?